Hey, my Legion, how y'all doing today? I'm acting today to talk about the WWE and why they're the real reason why their ratings are pretty lousy right now. I saw a video of Team Ryder saying Vince is not happy with the ratings for Raw, and also on wrestling news talk or whatever they call it, wrestling news. They were saying that some of the past Raws have had the lowest ratings ever, like well under 2 million, 2.0. Like a 1.4, 1.7 is pretty bad. I mean, now, first of all, WWE is always going to have big competition on Monday nights. Usually they used to say they're the number one show on basic cable. Sometimes they can't beat out football and stuff like that. Football is pretty tough to beat. Well, anyways, I'm going to go back to my talked about some of my history of the WWE, and I'll get up to present times because I've been a fan of WWE since 1975 or 76. I was real low back then. Back then, Vince McMahon didn't have his polished syndicated show yet, and they had a very low budget looking, well, not somewhat low budget looking, old school looking wrestling show that my dad and I used to watch on Saturdays in the summertime on Channel 35. And sometimes it was on, sometimes it wasn't. And when it was on, that's cool. And when it wasn't, you couldn't do anything about it. Cause I missed it. I know they had Andre the Giant on there and George the Animal Steel. And George the Animal Steel was always funny, I thought. Well, anyways, Vince McMahon finally took over from his dad. Because I don't know if those old shows were WWE or old WWF or not. I assume they were. And then he came out with the new more slickly produced syndicated show around, I don't know if the date's right, 79, 80 or something like that. And then they had the main event on Saturday night's main event. Now, this was before they started doing pay-per-views. And, we didn't have, on cable they had a thing with USA, used to have Tuesday Night Titans, which I never saw as like a talk show. We didn't have cable at the time. We just had regular rabbit ear antennas, and that's it. I would love to see some of the shows. I've seen little excerpts of them on videotape, and some videotapes. It was like a talk show. He's trying to do like the Tonight Show type thing. It looked like it was a very entertaining show and very silly. Now that's what WWE I like. And well, anyways, he got more slick, and they came out with WrestleMania, the very first pay-per-view. That revolutionized the wrestling industry, and then it was only on closed circuit TV. I have a news report somewhere about people going to see the second one on closed circuit TV because you could go to Civic Center and see it. It was very different back then, and they still had closed circuit TV back in the. There was some closed circuit TV event somewhere. I can't remember what it was, and. From there it got bigger and bigger and bigger. And then Vince McMahon had a big problem with the steroid scandal and stuff that really hurt him. And WCW, up and coming company, started buying off their talent. And around the 93, 94 mark, I stopped watching wrestling altogether. I watched my old wrestling tapes from WWE. That's all I watched. I didn't watch WWE around 93, 94 until 98. And when they had Attitude Era, I got back into it again. And I got back into it in a big way. I remember I rented. I was subscribed to like 3 different wrestling magazines, both WWE magazines for like 2 years, and then the Wrestling Rampage for 1 year. I used to buy all the books, the hardcover books about the biographies and stuff when Mick Foley did his. And I was a big, big wrestling fan for a long, long time. And now here comes why I think WWE is losing in the ratings. Because I still watch wrestling, but nowhere near like I did before. It's the WWE Network. Well, first of all, it's oversaturation. Because Vince was talking about Brock Lesnar or The Undertaker being on every, why aren't they regular players? And Vince was saying, well, they're like a main attraction type thing or a special attraction. If you see him if you only see him a few times a year, it's really good. But if you see him all the time, it's not as special anymore. And that is pretty much what's going on with WWE. And it has been going on with WWE for a while. Because I remember back in the day, they used to have like the 4 main pay-per-views. And it was Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, SummerSlam, and Survivor Series. Those are the four main ones, and they had lots of time to build up great storylines. And then Vince said he was going to do one every month. Well, they brought up King of the Ring too, but King of the Ring was kind of at the pay-per-view for a while. That's the start of it, having a pay-per-view every month, or sometimes two in a month. Plus Raw and SmackDown, and then Vince decided to make Raw a 3-hour event, a 3-hour show from the 2-hour one. I said, boy, it's just too much stuff. But it was still good back then. It was still very entertaining back then. And what happened was they came out and they brought out the network. WWE Network was what was really going to hurt the thing. I was excited about it. I never bought the network, though. Because I thought they wanted too much money. Because I got enough bills and I don't want to have another bill, especially with WWE being not very good anymore. I feel I just wasted my money. And then slowly but surely it started to go downhill. Because they even had great storylines in 2013, 2014 with Team Hell No and a whole bunch of really cool stuff. Like the whole thing with AJ Lee and John Cena, secret rendezvous and stuff like that. That was all really good stuff. And I still watched that. I was very, very entertained by it. And I know Reckless Eating started complaining when the network came out. The build-up for WrestleMania 2015, he said, was horrible. But the show turned out really good, though. But I mean, it seemed like it's been declining because the wrestlers are always on camera doing something. And you get burnt out. And there's so many of the writers in Creative Town are going in so many different directions instead of focus on the main product. I mean, Vince did stuff with doing movies and stuff and TV shows like Total Divas and stuff. That all worked. But, I mean, I think the network is too. Just like Oprah Winfrey had her own channel, and her channel was a huge flop. Same with, I don't know what a flop, I don't know if the network is a flop or not, but, I mean, the product, especially Raw and SmackDown, have been going really downhill, and they thought they were going to do better with the draft and making, like, you know, like exclusive Raw and SmackDown, or doing the pay-per-view, the exclusive Raw pay-per-view or SmackDown pay-per-view. And it just didn't work. It's just not interesting anymore. I mean, I was talking to my friend Tony Town. He said, are you enjoying Raw? Are you kind of bored by it? I said, it's okay. Because I didn't even really watch Raw last night. I had it on. I was messing with the computer. I wasn't really watching it that much. I mean, it was all right, but Paul Heyman came out. It was really cool. Goldberg might be coming back, which would be interesting, but they're going to do that. They were talking about doing Goldberg and Brock Lesnar. The last time Goldberg and Brock Lesnar wrestled, it sucked. I mean, it was really bad. Even the fans were saying, this sucks, this sucks, this sucks. Or boring, or they were saying boring, or something like that. Yeah, it's just oversaturation. I mean, I think that it's really, really affecting them now. I mean, when the network came out, it was a slow downward spiral for WWE. And it's gotten to the point now where it's just as boring. Yeah, I mean, there's bits of brilliance in there. You know, they're really doing neat things with the female division now, which they have never done before, which I think is a plus. I don't know what else they can do. I mean, they're trying to pull out all the stuff. Vince is not happy, but you know, it is. I mean, I think WWE is really shooting itself in the foot with the network. I know that Matt Bell from Reckless Eating said that's the nail in the coffin as a network. There's too much product out. They need to just pull it back some. I mean, it's too late to do it now. Because, like, you see it enough, it's not special anymore, like Vince would say, you know. I mean, we're definitely not in the golden age. We're having, like, very low ratings. I mean, and there's even stuff about the wrestlers that I didn't even bother to post. Jamie Noble was in a trailer, got stabbed, and so did Alberto Del Rio in another event. I guess Paige has violated her wellness contract for a second time. The wellness program are taking drugs and stuff. You know, there's so much stuff out there, but I mean, I'm still a fan of wrestling. but it's just not that good anymore. And it's really bad when the episode of Total Bellas, which is a complete surprise, that show's awesome, is much better than the full Raw or full SmackDown. You know? And there you have for some real talk about why the real reason WWE is losing in the ratings, because it's too much oversaturated, too much product, and the pay-per-views haven't been good anymore. I know almost said Herc Shear. Herc Zeus asked me if I was going to watch No Mercy. I said nah. I wasn't even really even interested in it. I missed Night of Champions. I didn't even remember it was on. Missed Night of Champions. I didn't really care if I missed it or not. Missed No Mercy. Didn't really care if I missed it or not. Royal Rumble is not really sizing up so good so far. They're saying it's going to be at the Texas Dome for the first time in 20 years or something like that, which is kind of cool, but I don't know what they're going to do. It's just not that interesting anymore. So here's here you got it for there you go for some reasons that the real reason that WWE is losing in the ratings. So I hope you like this video. Until next time, bye please. Take care, my legion.